This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by Lincoln Savings Bank. At home in Iowa, at work for you.
Welcome back to Panther Sports Talk. Only 1 week remains in the regular season for the men's basketball team. They host Southern Illinois Wednesday night at 7 p.m. here in the McLeod Center, and then go on the road to Terre Haute, Indiana to take on the Sycamores next Saturday. Coach, it's going to be a big week for you as you're trying to get geared up, take some momentum into St. Louis and Arch Madness.
Yeah, it sure is. You know, there's still some things that that I feel like we can do a little bit better than what we've been doing, and some things that are going to help us when we do get to St. Louis. And this week will give us an opportunity not only to protect our home floor on Wednesday against Southern Illinois, which you know, anytime you're you know, in conference play, you've got to protect your home floor, and the Southern Illinois game will be important for that reason, in addition to some possible seeding implications that would come with that basketball game. And then we're going to see a really good team in Indiana State on the road Saturday, and that'll give us two opportunities to continue to work at a couple things and get ourselves ready for St. Louis.
Chance to avenge a couple of close losses that you had against these two teams. How important is that, again, and to get that momentum in this final push?
Yeah, that part of it, from a momentum standpoint, is certainly important, certainly part of it. But at the same time, you know, maybe a little bigger picture. You don't like to get beat in both games by a conference opponent. You know, you want to, you'd like to sweep the series, of course, with everybody. That doesn't happen. You know, that isn't going to happen with everybody each and every year. But for sure, you want to get your split with them. And in the case of Southern Illinois, you know, we dropped a close game at their place, so we've got a chance on our home floor to get that squared up. And you know, Indiana State, that's going to be the way they've played, and the team that they've got to go into their place. It's going to be a hard game, but that's okay. And you know, and the same with Southern Illinois. You know, they've played good basketball. You know, they're on a really good run right now, so the home game is going to be a hard one. But you've got to protect your home floor.
One thing I really love about this team is the depth, and you can go 10, 11 guys deep, and you've had 6 different starting rotations. How nice is that you can put a different lineup out there depending on what your opponent brings to the table? Well,
a couple games back with Missouri State, you know, we had 10 guys playing in the first half, and all 10 of them, you know, scored in that first half. And you know, I think that has been the guys like Max Martino and Matt Morrison and Marvin Singleton, guys that have been coming off that bench, and even Ted Friedman, who hasn't played quite as much, but he's played more here in the last 3 weeks. Those guys have done a great job of preparing themselves, and they've done a great job at practice, so that when we've gotten to this point where we've called on them more, they've been ready, and they've really helped our team. And in a couple of the basketball games in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, you know, they've been, in a lot of ways, they've been the difference in a couple of those games, and that's a real credit to those guys.
Panthers still lead the Missouri Valley Conference in scoring, about 75 points a game. What areas do you really want to try and improve on in this final week, Coach?
Well, you know, from an offensive standpoint, continuing to find, you know, not wholesale changes, but some little wrinkles that help you have good pace with what you're doing on offense, so that you know, once you've seen the team a second time and now you get to St. Louis and it's a third time, you know, there's some things that get taken away from you. So to be able to still have some stuff and just enough for the guys so that your pace on offense is good, and you can have some sharpness to what you're doing at that end. And then we've just got to keep working to play at a high level at the defensive end of the floor. You know, and when we've been locked in and had everybody on the same page, we've been a pretty good defensive unit. Too often, we've had times where 1, 2, or 3 guys have missed an assignment, and that's all it takes. You know, over the course of the 40 minutes, you miss a handful of assignments, and now you haven't had the defensive effort that you've got to have. So, at that end of the floor, we just need to make sure that we're locked in.
Panthers still a young team, 2 seniors on the roster. Chip Rank named the COSIDA Academic All-America. Coming up later in the show, we have a feature on Matt Morrison. What do you love about these guys? Just good student athletes in Chip and Matt.
Well, they've had great careers, and I think too often is defined by maybe a lot of the fans or a lot of people that around the program, that a career can only be defined by your numbers and what you do from a scoring, rebounding, assists, that how many minutes you play. I mean, those things are obviously the guys when they come here. That's an important part of it. Everybody wants to be putting up big numbers and playing big minutes, but that isn't everybody's career. And with Chip and with Matt, they've done everything that in all areas that we could ask for them in terms of academically, on the floor, off the floor. But then from a leadership standpoint, to be in positions that they've been in, where at different times they've played more minutes than others, but to continue to lead our team the right way, they've been terrific.
We'll have that feature on Matt Morrison right after this. Make sure to get to the McLeod Center Wednesday night, $5 tickets against Southern Illinois.